Hello and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Culture Cuddles,
where we talk about experiences of people living and loving abroad. My name is Uyen.
And I'm the German husband-to-be.
And we are the hosts of this podcast.
Yay! So today's topic is cultural misunderstandings and shocks.
Ooh.
So I guess you also have some stuff to tell. I heard you're also making some short videos on the internet about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm a Vietnamese living in Germany for 5 years now. And the cultures between these two countries are very different. So honestly, when I first moved to Germany, everything I experienced over here was a cultural shock.
What was your biggest cultural shock when you moved fresh to Germany?
There's so many. But I think the one that stay until now is that German, they have a very stoic face and they don't smile that much when they deliver anything or then they talk to you. Whereas Vietnam is super smiley and bubbly in general when they talk to you compared to German. So when I first came here and I talked to Germans, they always look like they hate me to the guts. Like from my perspective, they look like they want to punch my face. And I have to question myself all the time, do they hate me? And even until now, after 5 years and a lot of inner self-working, and I keep telling myself, they don't hate you. They just looking like that with everybody. It's still super kind of uncomfortable whenever I talk to a German because they just don't smile. And I keep thinking they must be super uncomfortable with me. But it's not true though.
I smile a lot.
Yeah, German boyfriend is different. No, but when he talk with German, he's not that smiley as well, honestly. Honey,
I think it depends a little bit on the situation.
What about you, honey? You are German, but you visit Vietnam several times already. What is your biggest culture shock when you visit Vietnam?
There are lots. But when I need to think about the people, I really find it very remarkable how you guys are beating around the bush when talking about something. Whenever there's a problem or a concern or something, and they want to talk about it, they start a whole dance, mentioning it in a side note while talking about something completely different, then mentioning it one more time later, and they expect you to get what they're talking about or something. I don't know.
Yeah. For me personally, if I have a problem with someone, I would just not even talk about it. And I'm just going to hope that that person going to realize that I have a problem with them. But I'm not
Very good way of solving things.
I'm not like that anymore. I'm trying to be more openly communicating, especially with German, because they would never understand. If you have a problem with them and you don't tell them, they think everything's good. Which is I guess a normal reaction as well. So I had to change it. But yeah, so that's our story. And I'm excited to see what's coming next now with you guys' story.
The thing is, I don't know, something you're still not used to is that people can also have different opinions and talk about them and maybe even discuss them and then get a little bit more loud without them being super angry. I remember there was one moment when me and my friends had a discussion about something. We had different opinions, and then they left. It was right in the beginning, and then after that you were like, "What happened? Are you not friends anymore?" But we were just discussing about something and having a little bit of a heated argument. So I start with the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So Aqua Noodle says, my German dad always says, stays inside when food is tasty, meaning he doesn't have to vomit it back up. That is equivalent to chef's kiss, the highest possible compliment apart from silently eating his food without complaining.
Did he actually say that? The food stay inside?
Yeah, stays inside.
Oh, I don't understand, honey. What is the problem with Germans and giving compliments? Why can't they just give a compliment like a normal human being? If I cook something for you and then I ask you, how was the food? And you said, wow, it stays inside. I didn't vomit up.
Well, the vomiting part is just implied. You didn't say that.
I'm already offended. I would make you vomit it for real so that I can take the food back.
I remember that we had one friend of mine who's from Swabia. He always used to say when he ate something and he liked it, he said, "Kom maar aanbieden," which means you could offer that to a guest.
Okay.
So like without insulting him or something.
But like, why can't I just say it's good? Why can't I just say it's delicious? Is it hard to say? Why can't I say like it's yummy? Why do you guys have to be so creative to not giving like an explicit compliment? Well, I have the opposite problem with the Germans. I tend to compliment everything to the max. Like everything I eat and I think it's tasty, I would say it's the tastiest meal on earth. I don't have anything either I hate it or I love it to the max, which is not good as well. But I would rather do that than doing what you guys are doing in Germany.
And then she's also expecting other people to compliment in the same way. I remember last weekend we were in London with a friend, and then you fed him something you really like, and then she was very offended when he said this has to be one of the best 10 meals he ever eaten. But it was not the best ever.
He's German as well. Can you just say like top 2 or something? Top 10? I don't even have 10 dishes that I like at the moment. Okay.
Yeah, but like that's really something. I really, really experienced that. Like when Uyen asked me about my favorite thing of anything, like a movie or a song or something, I really start talking because I don't just say like that one, because she's asking about the best of the best. So I really think about it.
Also, this not just end with the food in Germany. It work with everything. Like if you work with German or if you like live with a German, you would notice you would barely have like an compliment from them for your work or like for what you're doing. They would not like hold back. Like they would like give you some encouragement, but like super rare. And also it's kind of in this kind of form. You did your job. You didn't miss the deadline or things like that. They wouldn't be giving you explicit compliment, which could be disencouraging at some time as well. But you have to live with that.
Yeah, different way of communication. But I'm giving you compliments.
No, honey. German boyfriend is so bad at giving compliments, you guys. And I have been training him forever. You know what is the secret of giving a good compliment, honey? You give example. Like if you say, sweetie, you cook very well. You have to follow up with like, I really love your noodle soup. I have never tasted something that better. Or like, I think it tastes better than the restaurant. Explicit example. German boyfriend is so bad at giving compliment. He just know how to say, sweetie, you're very funny. You're very good. You're very good at cooking. But he doesn't know how to follow up. So he just keeps saying, you're awesome, sweetie. You're awesome. And at some point, he just lose all of the meaning. But I'm training him.
It's a pity you guys cannot see my face right now.
Why? What does your face look like? You're smiling.
Yeah, you see
He's smiling at the moment. He's like, she's right. I really cannot say anything.
I don't think that is what...
I'm speechless, damn it.
Next comment comes from Dia. I come from Romania, which is a bit of a more Eastern-leaning culture. And here you have to refuse things multiple times before accepting them. So if somebody is offering me cake, I would say no at the first 2 times before saying yes. When I moved to the Netherlands, I was not aware that this was a cultural difference. So when I got asked if I want cake, I said no. They said, okay. And I just never received cake. No. I still think about it.
No! Poor cake! Oh God, this is really funny because it's super true in Vietnam as well. We always have to say no several times until you finally say yes. And when I go to Germany, when people say no to me, if I offer them food, I thought they were just being polite. So I asked them like 3 more times and they keep saying no forever. And I was like, how many times do I have to ask you until you say yes?
Sometimes that's really a little bit difficult because some people might even consider it rude when you keep asking them to take something that they already said that they don't want it.
Yeah.
No, they will feel pushed into it and then they're not comfortable anymore. I really feel like after some time when you're in a relationship like ours, you start to be something like a cultural ambassador or translator for the other person, and then translate like the habits and stuff that are not talked out loud and what it means now when you're doing certain things.
You know, in Vietnam, I have seen my parents and their friends doing that kind of dance several times when they were like, oh, let me pay for this. No, let me pay. No, you let me pay. No, I let you pay. You let me pay. They have to like push that again and again several times until someone finally pay for it. And that's considered polite. And all the time, I thought that was like showing how nice you are and how polite you are, which I like. But now when I moved to Germany, I just like the way German just split the bill straight up. It's just less stressful and less like, it doesn't waste so much time like that way anymore.
And when you try to make a dance like that, you will just ending up paying all the time.
Yeah, because if you say, no, let me pay, the German will be like, oh my God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's so nice of you.
Exactly.
How do I deserve that?
Yeah, pay please. Since you say that, pay. Never offer a German something that if you don't mean it. Because they will take it as a serious offer. If you don't want them to come over to your house, do not meet them and say, hey, we should meet up sometime. Because they're going to show up at your door during the weekend.
The thing is, they might ask one time if you're actually serious. But not 2 times. No. So the next one is from Isabel, and she also goes in kind of the same direction. She said, I'm from India, but I moved to the Netherlands to study and fell in love with a Dutchie. One of my biggest culture shocks was that people in his country do not offer visitors food or drinks at their homes. I once noticed that when a friend of his came to visit, my boyfriend did not offer him a beer, and I kept waiting for it to happen until at one point I got so frustrated with him and I handed the friend a beer and a plate of dinner.
Oh.
I was so upset at my boyfriend later on.
Rude.
But I think it's normal in his culture to not share food and drinks.
If someone invite me to their house, I would assume that I would be full when I'm going home. And if I'm not full, I would be furious. If you invite me to your house more than 3 hours, I expect food. That's how it is in my culture. The thing in Vietnamese is that you can just walk into a Vietnamese house at any time you want, at least in my village. You never need to book an appointment. You never need to call first. You just walk in. So when you walk in, the family could be like eating, cooking, doing something, and then you would join the activity. If they cook, you help them cook sometime. If they eat, you eat with them if you want to.
You do laundry with them. Nice.
Yeah, I help my friend do laundry a lot. But like in Germany, it's different because when you want to come visit someone, you have to book a date days in advance, weeks in advance. So when you go there, the host already prepared that there would be guests. So if they don't want to feed you, they would eat beforehand. And then when you come, they just spend time with you. Or if they want to eat with you, they would like plan that in advance.
Yeah, like you would talk about it. Like
yeah, but I feel like in Germany, it's not as like intense, extreme like in the Netherlands. Normally, when you go to a friend's house in the evening, at least they would talk about like, should we order something together or something like that. But like, I have never get invited to a real Dutch friend's house. But from what I learned from the internet, it's really like, I don't know, a bit too much.
I mean, I cannot talk much about experiences in the Netherlands because like we have friends in the Netherlands, but like never happened to us. And our friends are also all abroad people. But in Germany, you would at least offer people something to drink. But if the host forgets about it, like it would be also no problem if you ask for something to drink.
Yeah.
Because I know in some cultures you would never ask. You would always just wait until you get something offered.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What cultural is that so that I don't go there?
Actually, I need to say that Uyen always forgets to offer our guests drinks anyway.
Because like, if you're thirsty, tell me, you my friends. If you want to drink, let me know. Then I bring you drink. I only have that kind of casual friends who they come to my house and they raid my fridge.
Yeah,
normally, yeah.
That was actually something that shocked me a bit when we were in Vietnam. And then I always brought like some ingredients there to cook with. And then I also did the grocery like for the next 2 or 3 days. And then sometimes we had her friends, her roommates coming over, and we had a small party. And they really raided the fridge and they even started cooking. And I was standing there. I was feeling like Bilbo Baggins when the dwarves were coming. Like, what?
It's a normal thing in Vietnam. You have food, I'll take your food and I'll eat it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was the guest there. When you're in Rome, do it as the Romans, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the first time, I was really shocked. I even took Uyen aside and said, like, they're eating our mushrooms. They were for cooking that and that tomorrow.
Yeah, and I was like, why you care, bitch?
Yeah, and then
yes.
Uyen was being Uyen and said, like, we're buying new ones.
I always do that. we can always buy new food, but we cannot feed your friends all the time. Whenever your friends come, feed them until they're full. That's my motto.
So, Miss Muffin said, I'm Turkish and my boyfriend is German. My culture shock is that he speaks very formally with his family. Like his mother calls him and he answers the phone with his name or his last name, and they don't care. My mother would be so upset if I was that formal on the phone. She would say it's disrespectful or something, because in my culture, having respect for the family or older is a very big thing. Sometimes I make fun about that and answer his phone calls with my full name.
Okay, I have nothing to say about this because I have never seen anyone in Germany do this before. So maybe it's just like a one case thing or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I also don't really know that from my friends. But I mean, we have an audience here. Did you ever experience a German doing that?
I mean, I have never seen that, but I must say Germans are not like the most lovely-dovely when it comes to like family interaction anyway. They are not like squeezing each other with hugs and kisses and like, I don't know,
greet each other
lying
with
on
hugs.
each other's laps or things like that. Like they love each other for sure, but it's still, there is a very, how do I explain this? Like a coldness somehow inside. I don't get it. Like just the way you guys express love is very different compared to other, like more intense, warm cultural, I must say.
We're talking about a lady that greets their family after seeing each other not for 2 years by waving casually at them.
I'm not talking that my country is the most lovely-dovely with family too. Okay, we don't even touch each other in Vietnam.
And not at all. And that is really something like
not
when we're meeting her sister, for example, I really, really feel like I should give a hug or something or like a handshake. But okay, I understand that it's different and no one seems to attempt anything doing like that. But
yeah.
So, okay. So the next comment is from Lakshmi. My boyfriend is a very pale Irishman and I'm from South India. We both have lived in Canada for many years now. Last year, we visited my family in India for the first time during the summer. And before our trip, Irish boyfriend's brothers and parents were worried for his safety in India. They were worried the weather and the sun might be too hot for him, and they were worried that he might get dilly belly for food poisoning because he's never been to Asia in his life.
You know, your parents were also super worried when you go to Vietnam for the first time as well, because they thought there's still war in Vietnam, or like Vietnam is a very unsafe country. So they were super shocked that you chose to go there.
Yeah, like they were shocked a bit in general that I planned, or maybe talking a little bit, like after I finished my master thesis, I was going 2 months to Asia, all alone, with no one else, and yeah, traveling by myself and that far away for the very first time. So my father was actually pretty worried and scared. But I also have to say that my family always was way too worried and scared about basically everything. But yeah, he was very worried. And but then he did a lot of research and found out that actually Vietnam for traveling is pretty much a safe country. And I would still say that, like when you're there going there as a backpacker, I think you're pretty safe and it's pretty easy to get around and without getting lost and everything. Yeah, at the end for me in Vietnam everything went completely fine. Let's see how it was with Lakshmi's boyfriend. When we finally arrived in India, the exact opposite happened. Irish boyfriend was eating all kinds of spicy food with no problem, and he didn't even wear sunscreen the entire trip. He was even able to eat more spicier food than me. I, on the other hand, was sick of the first week, throwing up from food poisoning, and I couldn't go anywhere without a big umbrella, a hat, and a big bottle of cold water to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
I grew up in India as a kid, But in a funny cultural twist, it turned out that my Irish boyfriend is more Indian than me. I call him honorary Indian boyfriend now.
When I went back to Vietnam last year, I also have the same problem. I couldn't eat anything for like a week. I only can eat porridge, and I was super sad because somehow my Vietnamese belly turned to a German belly. All of the germs that I used to have are gone. So when the food is not like up to like hygiene standard, it can feel it. And at the end, I have stomachache for weeks, and I was so sad because
that's really sad.
The biggest reason, not the biggest, one of the big reasons why I want to go back to Vietnam that often is because I want to eat the food. And if I cannot eat it, what is the reason why I'm there then?
Yeah, I get a lot of sad video calls saying like, I can just eat porridge. Oh, poor you. But I'm pretty sure, like, maybe you ate one wrong thing on one of the first days.
Yeah.
No. Next time it will be different again. I need to say that I'm always a little bit careful when I'm there, but like, and my digestion is definitely a bit challenged, but I really don't have big problems usually when I'm there.
When you were lucky, though. I mean, I know many people who traveling in Vietnam and have like food poisoning and then have diarrhea and then has to go in and out of hospital. So whenever whenever I have a friends coming to Vietnam, I always give them general advice, like maybe try not to eat street foods, try not to eat salad because we clean the salad with tap water and tap water is not edible over there. Avoid to drink the ice because sometimes we make the ice with tap water too, which is not that safe. And if you have a little bit of more money, go to like restaurants that look established so that you don't want to like ruin your whole trip with like food poisoning.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's also street food stalls that are very clean and you can easily eat there, but maybe you don't challenge your luck.
Yeah, it's so funny because last time when I go back home, my friends even told me that I behave like a German now. I cannot eat the food that I like to eat in Vietnam anymore. I'm afraid of crossing the street because of the traffic. And then I'm kind of afraid of a lot of things as well that I have never been afraid before. Like, is this safe? Is this safe to do? Like, I'm not sure I'm allowed to do this and things like that. And I was getting made fun of it. But then at the same time, I was like, okay, that's who I am now. And I mean, living in a different culture changed you for sure. So obviously, when I go back to Vietnam, I basically cannot behave like how I used to be anymore. But I'm trying to find a balance for that as well.
Just tip when you're traveling, just prepare yourself, like take something with you to stop diarrhea in the worst case, for in case you need to travel. Bring some active coal, charcoal. Yeah, charcoal is the right word, right? And in Vietnam, you can buy like electrolytes, which are super good. Like they give you back all of your energy, like everything that you lose during the sickness, you just take the electrolytes and you directly feel better. That's really, really good. So the next one is from UK approved.
Okay.
Yeah, the name will get funny once you heard the story. I almost wasn't allowed to the country when I first met my boyfriend. I am from Finland. He's from the UK, and I flew to the UK by myself for the first time to meet him.
I just want to say she's from European country, right? I have never heard of a European person having problem going visa anywhere.
Yeah.
Only us like developing country having like all hell and back to get visa. But like for German boyfriend, he doesn't even know the struggle. He doesn't even know the word visa. He can just hold his powerful German passport and he can visit most of the world.
Yeah.
Super privileged.
And I know that I'm privileged now, but like there were times when I wasn't aware like the struggles that Uyen goes through, where I was like completely delusional. And then when I wanted to enter and then I needed to queue and make a visa on arrival or something, I felt like, why is that necessary? I'm very sorry now, actually, afterwards for that in hindsight. But yeah, I had the same thoughts when I read this and I was like, why? And now you see what was actually the problem. The border control caught me and they suspected that I will be in danger to become a trafficking victim. I did not remember the address of the Airbnb he booked. I was shaking, terrified, trying to convince them that he is not a pimp. They called him, interrogated him on the phone, and ended the call with, "I will let you know what we decide." Luckily, his dad's Facebook page was public, so I was able to convince them to let me go. And the first time my boyfriend saw me in real life, I was too busy sobbing my eyes out.
Oh,
poor.
You know, when I go to the UK last month, for the first time, I noticed that it literally everywhere, the border control, they have poster of like, be aware of trafficking, human trafficking and things like that. Yeah. You didn't notice? Oh,
no, I didn't
German
notice.
boyfriend doesn't need to because he just needs to go through the automatic passport control. He just scan his passport and he walk away. I have to line up with like 100 more people and I have to wait literally for 1.5 hours because it was super crowded that days. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. They are looking out for people, especially women.
I mean, they're trying to warn you and try to save you from very bad things happening to you.
The thing is, like, German boyfriend, he never thought of what happened when he gets stopped by border control because it almost never happened to him. But that's what I always think about every time I travel abroad, although I have nothing to hide. Because I watch too many like TV show, like reality TV show of filming crew coming to the airport and then they film people getting stopped by border control, getting searched there, and then basically getting kicked out or like going to jail because either they bring drugs to the country or they actually lie about their intention of going there. Do you know, from what I see, for example, in America, if you go there and they suspect that you go here for not a good reason, they have the right to search everything in your phone and your luggage. And if you refuse, which is okay, they're gonna send you back immediately. I was always worried if one day they just open my phone and check if I'm coming to the country for like a good intention. And I was like, I'm not sure if they would like to see all of my food picture or like food, not feet. Food, like the eating food. I have nothing to hide at the same time.
Of my food picture.
I have nothing to hide, but at the same time, it's always in the back of my mind. And when I was lining up for the border control in the UK, there was at least 3 people getting stopped there for 30 minutes long each. They was like they was like asking them all of the questions. Where are they going to? I want to see your booking. I want to see your flight. I want to see all of your phone picture. I want to see your proof and everything. So I was always, I don't know, a bit stressed every time I go. I wish I could live a carefree life like German boyfriend.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I never really needed to experience that by myself, but I think I can imagine that it's like very, very bad.
Yeah.
Because like even when you're having no problems. But recently I always got picked out and they make those drug tests on my luggage. Yeah, I don't know what's going on recently. They're always negative and I always know like, okay, they won't find anything. But still, like, you feel like, okay, this is not a comfortable situation.
But honey, what of your appearance that give the feeling that you look like a drug lord?
I have no clue.
I have to search for it. Do you look like a drug lord? Is it how drug lord look like?
Is this the face of a drug lord?
I don't know. She's from Finland, so probably she just needs to like fly there, right? Without no visa and stuff. Many people, including me, when we go to the UK, we have to go through so much a lot of documents, a lot of form to fill, a lot of proof, financial proof, job-wise proof, and then still we have to travel to a specific place to give our biometric as well and pay a lot of money for the visa.
Easy.
And the thing is, sometimes it annoys me a bit that German boyfriend doesn't understand the magnitude of the problem. Like, I would tell him that it's a lot of work, but normally I do it by myself. I don't really need his help. So he just like, okay, it's a lot of work, but like, what the hell, she can do it again. So after I went to the UK and my visa ran out, German boyfriend has suggested me, you know what, maybe next year we can just go there again for a short trip to see like a concert. Like, what's the problem? Just do the whole visa process again. And I was about to strangle him. I was like, how dare you? Do you know, it's like 2 freaking weeks of my life there. Cost so much money. You want me to do all of that over again to see a concert? I'm going to strangle you. I'm going to kill you.
But I'm pretty sure it will be easier at the second time than at the first
No,
time.
honey.
Like also you don't need to worry so much anymore about that it will get approved.
I'm 100% that it's gonna be approved. And that is the easy part. But like every single document are still the same, honey. Every single document, every single form I have to fill, it's gonna be 2 more weeks. It's not gonna be easier. You see, delusional. He think I have a visa once, I can just do it again easily. Like, oh my God. I wish I have that like level of carefree like you.
Her story also reminded me a little bit to you at our first trip together, when you gave all of your friends like my picture and my name and where I'm from, just in case something happens and I turn out to be a serial killer.
I mean, I kind of trust you, but I don't trust you that much that you're not gonna kill me. I don't know.
I didn't even think about that.
But like, yeah, see, like man thought, right? Because when German boyfriend fly to Vietnam to see me for the first time, we met for like 3 times in real life, basically like in 3 days, right? And then we do texting for around 4 months, and then we meet each other again and for traveling. And German boyfriend, he just pack his stuff, go to a plane, and I'm gonna see my girlfriend. I'm gonna give her keys and snuggle her. Whereas at the same time, I was like telling my roommates, okay, this is the name of the man. This is his passport. This is the address I'm gonna staying in. You're going to call me every single day at this specific time to make sure I'm still alive. And then I might kiss him and then snuggle a bit. But if you're a serial killer, you have to act fast. Like, of course, I trust him, but you know, woman instinct, you have to still protect yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I think about it, I mean, I didn't even wonder, like, you wanted to have a picture of my passport. And I'm like, yeah, of course, my girlfriend gets a picture of my passport. I didn't even think about like what you want it for or something.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I was dumb at that time because I took such a big risk. And you could turn out to be like a horrible person.
Yeah.
Could very much. Like, I mean, of course, I know that I talked to you for a while and you were not a bad person at all. But I was also like 20 years old. Like I was dumb as like, if you just lied to me, I would believe you as well. I was so innocent at that time. I have never experienced like, you know, I don't know how to vet bad people as well. He was just my first boyfriend as well. And we barely actually talk on the phone at that time. Basically, we're too shy. We're just texting all the time. And yet I pack my stuff. I fly. I have never fly before. I fly to the south of Vietnam to meet him and spend like 2 weeks with him. I don't know if my parents know that at that time, they would never let me go. They would lock me in the house or something. I don't know what get over me. Somehow I get very lucky, and then German boyfriend turned out to be a very, very nice and gentle guy. So I took a big risk and it worked out. But I'm not sure if I have a kid, I want them to do the same thing. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is the problem. Like when you think about it, you actually get a bit sad. Like when we hear the story of UK approved, who got approved by the UK.
Exactly.
Then like it's a little bit sad that it's actually necessary, because there are bad people out there who are just trying to use good intentions of people.
There are bad people everywhere.
Like the idea that someone could have done that to you is actually very, very, very sad.
Right? No, but I got lucky though. So.
Yeah, so let's not think too much about it. And you guys out there, be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
Be safe.
Do not trust people too easily.
Follow love, but take precautions.
Passport picture.
Yeah, send each other passport pictures. It's very romantic. I remember that I asked you, like, what does your passport look like? And then you send me a picture of your passport. Well, it was from that time where I was very interesting about everything, like how stuff is for you, how stuff is for me. And I remember that I compared them and I said like, oh, okay. There's just one line for the name, for example, and what I found very interesting. No first name, second name.
You see, the mind of a man, it works so easily. It works wonder. He would just like, do.
Hey guys, we just realized that we forgot to film the ending of the podcast. So hello from the other side of the world. This is Australia.
We are visiting my sister, sitting in the bedroom, trying to make this quick because we have 3 kids screaming all the time. I really hope they will not scream right now.
Bye guys. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Culture Cuddles is produced by Yilmaz Hummel for Uyen Ninh and her German husband-to-be. This episode was produced by Niklas Stündel and Freak Sitter. To submit your own story for the podcast, go to culturecuddles.com.